On this Ascension Thursday, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Chris Bell, and along with Father Benedict Rochelle, we began Good Counsel. Really, it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of this ministry and to work in this area of our Lord's vineyard. And on this Feast of Ascension Thursday, when our Lord left us, He didn't leave us orphans. And for me, it came home in Psalm 68 in a chapel not far from here when I was living and working in Times Square helping homeless and runaway kids, that God is father of the orphan, defender of the widow. God gives the lonely a home to dwell in. And even though single mothers may not be widows in the strict sense of the word, they do not have husbands. Children in Latin America especially are considered orphans without fathers. And during this time when I think about the apostles, what it must have been like. I mean, here they now saw the resurrection and he's gone. And they were just as confused, just as frightened, just as muddled as they were ever in the upper room for 9 days. The great novena now, right? Between now and Pentecost. And I'm sure they thought about a lot of his words and what it meant for them. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. You do the will of God. You help bring his kingdom while you're helping us help mothers and children. For a mother maybe who already had an abortion, as about half the women who come to us at Good Counsel have had, and they don't want to do that again, as they've told me. Good Counsel is hope, and it's a path and a road for a new life. Also for men and siblings who have experienced an abortion, Good Counsel began the Lumina program, Lumina meaning light, for hope and healing after an abortion, which is for everyone. We have a national helpline. We have programs, days of recollection, and groups meeting. There aren't many people talking about the pain or reaching out and showing the healing. And we can, because we believe that love does conquer all. And love is creative. And love has a way of reaching out even in our brokenness, even in our most depressed and degrading states, and saying that's not the end of the story. That there is a resurrection, there is hope, there is healing in every circumstance. You know, Jesus said, temptations will come, sin will always be there. But woe to the person who brings upon that sin, that temptation. In this city in particular, but throughout the country, how many people with so much education are allowing, encouraging, and tempting our youth, our teens, our children? Better a millstone be tied around their neck and they be cast into the sea. Somebody yesterday told me Jesus said they should be murdered. It's hard to think of him saying that, but that's basically what he said. Better to kill those people than have them tempt the children. Now, he was speaking, somewhat figuratively, but it does show how serious the sin is to degrade, to tempt, to destroy the morals of our youth. And we are challenged to fight that good fight. St. Augustine said very early on in Christian history, it's not enough for a Christian to do good, to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, shelter the homeless. A Christian has to fight evil. And evil there is always around us, in every generation. Linda came to us with a diagnosis that the child in her womb would have a genetic defect affecting every single cell. And you can imagine what the professionals told her to do. But she would have none of that. Even before she came to us, she was not going to have a hand in taking the life of her child. And we connected her with a very medically advanced institution in this city. And I know there are many, many good men and women in the medical field who not only want to, but they do no harm. But the institutions that are teaching our medical men and women and that in general give us the services of so-called health care, they didn't want to help. But she did give birth to a baby boy who did have a heart defect, but he didn't have the terrible disease that they thought he would have. And he did have several operations after his birth, but now he's about 10 months old and he's pretty chunky and strong and he's doing fine. And she is working very hard to be a very good mother because she really cares and wants to be the best mother she can for him. She taught me a lot about faith and about commitment and about love. And unless you become like a little child, like Serenity, and that's her name, who, when I walked in there and I was showing another priest friend around our South Bronx home, she came running up to me with her arms open. Now, she doesn't see me that much, and I was glad she took the cookie out of her mouth when I picked her up. But then she ran up to Father George, whom she never met. And I thought, that's the faith of a child that Jesus said, I have to have if I want to get into the kingdom of heaven. I hope I can live long enough to develop that faith because it's so strong and so trusting. She just knew she was going to be hugged and loved. I think special needs children teach us a lot about what it is to be human and also what it is to live a full life. Not just because I have some special children who are especially good, I tell them when they're asleep. But they're good, they're good. They're on their best behavior tonight. I shouldn't push it. I shouldn't push it. They're great. But the reality is that children, no matter what genetic makeup they have. I read a story recently, maybe you did too. I think it was in the Times, which I almost never read, but it must have been a leak somebody sent me, which said, it's true, there's a boy, he's got the aging disease, so his body is aging much more rapidly than his chronological age. But because they can study him, they are learning more about what it is to age naturally. And if they get smarter, just think of it, what we can learn from children with different genetic makeups and how, in reality, those may be the children that teach us how to cure diseases and how to live better lives. And spiritually speaking, isn't it all of us, when we're in need, that we give others an opportunity to love and to sacrifice and to help one another? Because that's what love is. Real love is a sacrifice. Real love is Jesus Christ. So on that note, I would like to ask every mother in the room to please stand up. And I would like please stand up, every mother who's in the room. I know we have a lot. And I can't forget that this is Mother's Day weekend coming up. So thank you, mothers who are here. Yes, Mother?
All pro-life women, whether you have a biological child or not, your mother's all those little babies you pray for at the death camp, they're your children. And the 3 things you're going to have.
That was the next line. I should let her read my... No, she's good. My dear wife, she's always putting me in my place. No, but she's right. No, you're right. I was going to say there are so many more spiritual mothers that you probably didn't stand up because, and even you who have birthed others, you're spiritual mothers to others, and that's so vitally important, and that's what we're called to be, and for us fathers. But that's next month. We'll do something else next month. And I've got a real special treat, particularly if you were here last year. Last year, you may remember. And this was truly spontaneous. A mom who is on a park bench, but had her cell phone, took a little video of her park bench where she was sleeping at 7 months pregnant. She sent it to a local TV reporter. The TV reporter took the story, went and met the mom, called me up and said, "Can you help her? She's sleeping on a park bench." We said, "Of course." Well, Jessica was here in the room last year with her baby in utero, and that TV reporter was here too. And it was wonderful. And this doesn't happen too often, but Jessica is back here today. And the baby is born. Sky'la was in utero last year, and now she's here, and you all heard her talking before, singing before. And now I'll let Jessica tell the rest of the story.
Wow. I really don't know what to say. All I can say is thank you guys for everything, for giving the help for me and my daughter not being on the streets anymore. We came a very, very long way, and we are going to keep going as long as we have Chris Bell and the rest of you guys helping me. I can't go wrong without you guys. Thank you. Since I've been in good counsel and I had a healthy, beautiful baby daughter, I'm also working as well. I'm a bus matron, and I work with the autistic children, and I love them to death. I can't wait till I go to work tomorrow. I'm fiending to go to work.
Well, thank you, Jessica. It's really very sweet. So Jessica had a year in our homes, and I won't tell you about all the life skill programs she went through and all the classes we did. Maybe we got a future speaker here. But you know, she's really done very well. She's been very grateful, and she's been a model resident in our home there. And we're grateful for you, and we're grateful to God that Monica Morales, the reporter, brought us together. Yes. And please God, there are a lot of other women who need to hear the message. As Catherine was saying, we need to spread the message online and off. I like that, 3 people. So I usually tell people, just tell somebody. You know, go online or tell a relative, tell a friend. Just, 2 things I think that are most important. One is there's help for every woman in a crisis pregnancy, no matter where she is, no matter how she got pregnant, no matter what her background is or what her circumstances are, there's help. Call our 24-hour helpline. And for everyone who's ever had an abortion, participated, paid for it, encouraged it, there's forgiveness. God forgives. God forgives. You just have to find it. And you can go to our Lumina helpline, because sometimes hearing forgiveness isn't enough. You need to talk to other people who have been there and walk that road. And that's what you can find at luminahope.org. Thank you very much, and God bless.